Mr. Alton Craft. There, I've known Alton probably since I can remember knowing people. School, he was a few years younger than me, graduated with boys. Graduated with my brother David. Coached him in football. Wayne Newsom back years and years ago. So I've known Alton for a long time. Of course, he just worked for the city for probably what, 30-something years. He was there when Mayor Smith first got elected there. Worked as a finance director for many, many years, and now Amy's taken over that responsibility a little bit. She really took it over about 10 or 15 years. Alton just sort of got the credit, whatever. I'll ramble on here because I know y'all don't want to hear from me. I want to hear from Alton. We're glad to have today our mayor, new mayor, doing a great job, and appreciate what he's doing for the city, and appreciate him stepping up and willing to take on this role. Mayor Alton Craft.
Thank you, Hindu. I didn't get a mic. Last time I got a mic, Barney. I was kidding downstairs. I really wasn't kidding. I think first year Barney was a member was the last time I spoke, so must have did a real good job. I hope I did that well again. I will tell you before I get started, this speech thing is kind of new to me. I really don't do a lot of speeches and everything, but when you become the mayor, you get to do speeches. And so the first group that I got to talk to, and I'm going to ask you to do this, I just want to point this out to you. The first group that I ever talked to was from the academic community, and you know, because they're from the academic community, they have these questions, you know, that don't relate to anything that we're talking about. And so, you know, I wasn't prepared, and so I'm just going to ask you, and I'll give you kind of a understanding of the kind of questions that I was asked. But first of all, you know, they called me up and asked me, "Can you mind coming up speaking?" And I said, "No, I'd be glad to." And I said, "I need a speech." And they said, "Don't worry, Mayor, we got a speech all ready for you. You just come in and just read it off, and no teleprompter or nothing." I said, "Okay." And so I sit down, and as you can tell, I got kind of nervous, and I sit there for a minute, and I'll just give you an insert that I can remember of the speech, and I think y'all will be able to follow along. But then I'll tell you the questions that were asked of me, and it went something like, "I will not eat them with a fox. I will not eat them on a box. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat it anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am." And of course, the intellectuals that were in the room started asking me all kind of questions like, "Mayor, did you ever eat green eggs?" And I said, "No, I've never eaten green eggs." They said, "Why do you think Sam I am was pushing the green eggs and ham?" And I said, "He's probably a caterer." And they said, "Well, what's a caterer?" And I said, "Well, that's kind of like a mobile restaurant." And then the question started. This is what I'm asking y'all to do. They started going everywhere. They said, "You know, my daddy ate all my red jelly beans. Do you understand why my daddy would do that?" And I said, "No, I do not understand why your daddy would eat that." And then one said, "Little Johnny just hit me. Do you know why Johnny hit me?" And I said, "No, I do not know why Johnny hit me." So if we could just stay focused, I mean, they were you know, an intellectual group of fourth graders. They were kind of brutal on me, and but I made it through, and so that's why I'm here today. What I'll start off with y'all with is just give you some of the things that we're currently doing and some of the things that y'all can help us with. First is this, it's going to be here at the Oxford Civic Center, the 25th, the Builders Remodeling Meeting. Folks, this is the Home Builders Association, the County Home Builders Association. They're putting this on, and it's really to introduce people to legitimate contractors. We have a problem in this area of contractors coming through who are not legitimate. They do. We just ran out a group not long ago for scamming people. They were telling them that you know, the city of Oxford was telling them to do this and all this, and then they would charge these elderly people a lot of money, and then come back and double charge them. And so, if you could I'll just give this to this table. I'll just pass it around and look at it, and just, you know, if you can invite, especially anybody that you know that is going to be dealing with a contractor, that would be a great thing. Also, if you're not aware of our new 311 hotline, call that. Was more of a helpline. We what we do on 311, if you need information, you need a schedule of what's events and things and what's going on, then you can call 311 and they can tell you. Also, if you have a complaint, if there's a trouble, like if you have a pothole or you have trees down, especially when we had the floods, the rain hit us the other day, people will call and say, hey, look, you know, my ditch is overflowing. We were able to get out to them using 311. It puts you into our system, and then we're able to go out and call all our employees. And the council, Mike and them, allowed us to do this. What was that? This past summer when we started working on it. But that's worked out well for us. So if you can't get, most of the time you can dial 311, but if you can't, it's just 241-4311. And just call in anytime you have a complaint, anytime there's a problem, anytime you need some information, we'll try to help you. And that's a good helpline. The other thing that I'll talk to you about is our National Day of Prayer coming up on May the 4th. We're going to do a little bit different this year. We're going to have, they'll be doing it some on their own at the school. The students will. We appreciate that. We'll also have something at noon like we usually do at City Hall, which we will allow you to come in and pray with us. Also, that night around 6 o'clock, we'll be here at the Civic Center to have prayer downstairs, and then we'll move from there to Liberty Park to wrap it up for about 7 to 7:30 to honor all our safety personnel, our military, and that will be concluded from 7 to 7:30. So we invite y'all to that. At that, if there's any questions that y'all would like to ask me, everybody but Zach, he asks me all the questions all the time. No, Zach can ask me too. Any questions you want to ask about what's going on in the city, just let me know. And I can talk to you about stuff all day long, but this is what topic you want to talk about.
Everybody talks about bucket list. What's on your bucket list for Oxford?
Okay. Well, several things that we came to, trying to, we're still working on fiber optics. We've met with the mayors. We're starting to meet with the folks down in Montgomery, but, in Montgomery it's kind of weird right now. So we met with Senator Marsh. We've met with several other legislative people about getting fiber optics to that county, but you'd be surprised that fiber is already through the county, as Terry can tell you. But we're looking at that to kind of modernize and make sure that we stay into the next century. Some of our plans are, we're looking at renovation of the mall. We're currently working on that. You'll hear about that over the next several months. It'll start building up. The council and I have not told a lot of stuff because we really don't know. We're just in the beginning process of it, but we are working on it. We are going to move on it, and I think when all said and done, y'all are going to be very, very pleased with it. One thing that we've learned, and I'll tell y'all, when the sports complex was built, I didn't advocate it, but I wasn't out there cheering it on either. As finance director, that's a lot of money, and when you're the finance director and supposed to count the money, you're supposed to look at, hey, that might not be a good deal. Well, maybe in 2007, 2008, that was probably a good argument, but what we're seeing now is that the box stores are becoming smaller and smaller. At the mall, some of you probably have, I think Sears is 115,000 square feet, Penny's is 109,000 square foot building, and Dillard's is 120,000 square foot building. When you go out to the Exchange, a lot of those same retailers are at 60 and 70,000. We call it the Amazon effect. More people are shopping online, and they're not going to the box stores anymore. They don't like the traffic. They don't like this. It's easier just to do it online. And I foresee that you're going to see the box stores continue to shrink. I would say probably in the next 20 years, you'll probably see the box stores go from even below 60,000, somewhere between 25 to 40,000 square feet, because people are doing more and more online. Now, the second part of that is that there's an opportunity, I think, people shop at home and eat out in restaurants. And it's the opposite of when we grew up. And so I believe if you have, this is where I think our sports complex has really been helping us. Matter of fact, I know Joshua got a phone call from several of the restaurants when we had a big event. Hey, y'all need to tell us when y'all have this event. We didn't staff enough people in our restaurant. And so I believe that we can, as Mike and them were trying to do, I believe back then, Mike always said destination, right? Mike, that's what was your terminology, make us a destination. we're going to be a tourist destination. I mean, you're going to have to do things to bring people to your community in this new world. If there's not a reason to come to your community, they'll probably just drive on through it. And so we're blessed in the fact that we do have the money and the reserves that we can try to do some of these things. I think that this will work, at least in the short run, hopefully in the long run, if we can continue to reinvent ourselves. But like I said, you will not, there's not a mall that I know of that I've talked to that's not facing the same trouble that this mall is. They're not going to stay there, even though they're easy to probably, most of them are in central locations and probably got still traffic flow. They're just not going to stop that. There's got to be a reason to stop. Okay, and so you got to provide the amenities and things like that. Another thing that I've been preaching for a long time, since even before I became in office, I don't understand why anybody on the planet would retire in Birmingham or Atlanta when you could come here in this area and live like a king or a queen. You know, if all your money that you spend over in Atlanta, if you had, the cost of living is probably 10 times higher over there. If you came here and lived in our area, and I'm talking about Calhoun County, Northern Talladega, Cleveland County, I mean, you would live like a king. Same thing in Birmingham, it's probably 5 times greater. And you come here, you would work, you would live. And so I've talked with developers. We're looking at, I'd like to see a retirement community. Mayor Smith always wanted to do that. One of his first things that he wanted to do in 1984, of course, at that time he didn't have the money, was turn downtown Oxford into a retirement community. But at that time we were pretty much broke, and so he had to go a different direction. And so now I think that that's another way to help us. You know, Calhoun County, especially Oxford. You know, the reason my family's here is because my grandfather was in the military, and he retired out of Fort McClellan because they had a hospital, they had all the amenities there that he needed, and he could live here like a king, you know, and so he retired here, and that's how my family got here. And that's the way a lot of folks got here, you know, back 40, 50 years ago, and I think we can do the same thing again. Calhoun County, as the chamber has told you, if any of you, I'm pretty sure a bunch of y'all belong to the chamber, you know, they showed the decline of our population. I've looked at the census data all the way to 2050, and it shows Calhoun County losing 1,000 people all the way to 2050, which you may say, well, that's not that bad. You know, we didn't lose 20,000. But what that says is that our population is declining for the next 30 years, folks. And I will promise you, when I talk to developers from hospitals, from retail, that's one thing they look at. What's your population? What's your population trend? You know, what are we going to do? And I'll tell you another thing that the developers like. I thought I really knew how to do this mayor thing when I first started, so I got in there and I went into the meeting with the developers, you know, and I was sitting there talking to them. I said, so how do we get the millennials to stay here, like my son? And how do we get them to stay here? That's what we want, you know. And how do we get them to come here? And they said, we don't want the millennials. We want the 50 and older group, because they pay for everything for the millennials. And both the hospital developers and the retail, they want us. I thought that made me feel good. They want me. And so that's another thing. You know, we have to educate. We got to quit trying. That's what I try to tell people. We got to quit trying to reinvent Oxford to something that we think could be, and do what we know we can be. And there's no doubt in my mind that this whole area would light up if we turned it into some retirement communities. And then when you think about this, who's going to build these retirement communities? It's going to be the millennials. Who's going to do the HVAC? Who's going to do the plumbing? It's going to be the millennials. Now, they may not all be brain surgeons, but then again, when you talk about the medical aspect of it, who's going to take care of these retirement communities? You're going to have a medical field that's going to be here. So again, by doing this, you actually generate the very jobs that you're talking about that are going away. And so those are kind of some of the things. The last thing I want to try to do, and I've talked with the President of Gadsden State, President of JSU, I've talked with our superintendent. You know, Alabamians, I was in a meeting with a developing group not too long ago, and they're from another country, and they said, you know, Mayor Craft, all we want you to do is we want you to come in and just say hello to them and then just walk out. Just let them know that you carried they were here. Well, I walked in and I just walked in at the wrong time. I guess I got a little Leon in me. That they were just slamming the Alabama worker. I mean, it was like all the Alabama worker wants is double overtime to work on Saturday and Sunday, and they won't do shift work, and they won't do this, and they won't do that. And you know, I was very respectful of them. I said, sir, I said, you know, National Gypsum's been doing shift work for 75 years. I said, the Alabama worker, you could go to Honda, and I said, the Alabama worker asked Honda what they found out about the Alabama worker. I said, I mean, we may be a little bit poor than everybody, and we may not be as educated, but we are hard workers. And that's another process that, you know, you talk about stereotypes. I mean, there's a stereotype for the Alabama worker, and we have to grow out of that too. And it takes people like in this group right here who are actively working in the community, actually presenting our community in a positive way to get these things done. If you don't, let me tell you something, every time, if you go out there and you badmouth this community, you hurt this community. I mean, it's got to be positive. I will tell you one last thing, and I'll quit talking, but you know, back in the early 2000s, you know, people like me and Boyce and some of you others, Mike and Don, we played ball here at Oxford. Barney, Josh, Mark, you play ball? Some of us that played ball, you know, it was always that rivalry. You know, we're Oxford. We're proud to be in Oxford. And all of a sudden, around 2000, late 90s, everybody kept saying, hey, we need to be more like Hoover. We need to be more like Hoover. We need to be more like Hoover. I got that so much, I got tired of hearing about Hoover, and I never been there. You know, I didn't know. When I went to Gallery, I didn't know I was in Hoover. But you know, I got tired of hearing about Hoover. And the last 2 or 3 years, with what the council's done, the chief of police brought the mobile command center, which I thought was kind of funny, and but he bought it, and it really works good, especially on Friday nights when y'all all sitting out in the stadium watching the game. I'm in there watching on television, and but the mobile command center, they did special ops. We got all new fire stations. We've got what's that other thing we got, Mike? It's some kind of special armored car. Like if there's a shooting, if somebody would shoot from this building at somebody, you could pull this armored car up and you could get the person that's out in the street or something, you could get them to safety, and you can't penetrate this armored car. And so the police chief from Hoover came over and he looked at our special ops building. Got to have one of these. He said, saw our mobile command center. Got to have one of these. Got our new armored vehicle. Got to have one of these. And so chief of police, he came in, man, he was hot. He was hot. He said, Mayor, he said, I'm tired of every time we do something, Hoover's got to do it. Every time I do it, Hoover's got to do it. And I said, well, chief, you remember, everybody wants to be like Hoover. Apparently Hoover wants to be like us. And so
building a sports complex.
Yeah. And I will tell you, now he did get me on the helicopter though. My helicopter, I don't know if I told you the helicopter. Bill come in and he goes, he said, Alton, this is before I was mayor, just a few months. He goes, got us a free helicopter. Free. I said, free helicopter? And he said, yeah, it is free. And I said, well, we need a helicopter for it. It's just free. And I said, okay, it's free helicopter. So a couple of weeks later, Andy, if I tell you this, all of a sudden we get all these pictures. It's being painted. He goes, Alton, look at our brand new helicopters. Painted, beautiful. And I said, yeah, man, they look sharp. That is fantastic. So I had been the mayor probably 2 or 3 weeks, and I get a requisition across my desk. One of the first requisitions I get across my desk, $49,000 for my free helicopter. And I go, Bill, I said, what's going on with the free helicopter? I said, I got a bill here for $49,000. He said, yeah, it needed an engine. And so, if you ever do become mayor or the council, be sure that you read the fine print from your chief of police. But no, they're doing an excellent job too. We recently were ranked in the top 45 safest communities in the state, and That goes a long way, especially being surrounded by some other cities that are ranking the other direction. And so I tell you, we got one of the finest staffs that you'll ever meet. I've got some of them here. I appreciate Don having them here because they have to laugh at my jokes. None of y'all have to, but those do. But they're really getting on board. They're working hard for you. What I like about them, I kind of tell them to think outside the box. And now, instead of coming to me and saying, hey, look, Mayor, we got this great idea. It's going to cost $9 zillion. They come to me and they go, hey, Mayor, this is going to cost X amount of dollars, but guess what? We've either got a grant for it or we figured out how a way to bring in more money than what's going to cost. Perfect example, I think Joshua and Doug Wirt and some of Emil probably were working on the golf carts. And, we got I got a little bitty camera thing up there that tells you how far the hole is and all this stuff. I'm not really, boys can tell you, I'm not really good. Yeah, I'm really not a good golfer. He wouldn't let me play with him no more. But anyway, we can advertise on it. And so the advertisement, they bring it to the council and they go, look, it's going to make more money than it cost us. So what do y'all think? Well, that's a no-brainer. They go, yeah, let's do it. And so that's the kind of things we're doing. And any other questions? I got one question. I've done well.
Did you brag about the Parks and Recreation Department?
Parks and Recreation.
Did Zach?
He did not.
Oh, I got the schedule.
Oh, okay.
If you ever look for I never can
Remind
find
about the
it.
OBC tournaments.
Huh?
Remind about the OBC tournaments.
Yeah, when is it, Josh? Now that you spoke up.
Maybe
8th
8th and 13th is the track and field and softball, and maybe 21st to 24th is baseball.
Yeah, and folks, I want to tell you, one of the things that I will brag on this, if you haven't been out there, there's no doubt that this is a state-of-the-art park. Matter of fact, I got a guy in my Sunday school class, he argues with me every week. He's a granddad, and he said, I told my staff this, he said, his grandson plays soccer, he said, nicest artificial turf fields I've ever seen. Nicest artificial, I said, they're not artificial, they're real grass. No, they're artificial turf, and of course you're in Sunday school, you don't really want to, I said, okay, artificial turf. But I mean, that's how nice they look. And but the one thing that the OVC got a dose of when they came here last year was Oxford hospitality. And I say Oxford hospitality. That's what many of us old hats remember of Oxford. When people work together and help it. I saw business leaders like yourself out there picking up empty plastic bottles, throwing them in the trash. I mean, they were doing this in between the innings. Every time somebody turned around and had a problem, there was somebody saying, "Can we help you? What can we do better?" I mean, it would make you. It made me super duper proud that our staff acted that way. And then, like I said, not just our staff, we had volunteers out there, of business leaders like yourself, and they were all working. And these folks fell in love with Oxford. They love it. We spoiled them to death. They were spoiled. And I hope that if any of you get an opportunity to do that, I hope you come out and help us. Don's always looking for volunteers. One other plug for one other group that I was extremely proud of. The League of Their Own. I don't know. Some of us grew up playing baseball where, you had the parents telling you how you need to play a little better. Maybe even hollering at you. But you go out to the League of Their Own and you see these children out here playing. It is super spectacular. And let me tell you something. You can volunteer at any time. All you have to do is be willing to walk out there and walk a child around the bases, and you will make that child's life that much more pleasant. You will make their parents fall absolutely in love with you for being out there and caring about their child. Got 12 teams out there, is what you told me, John? Over 200. They started, what's this, Don, 3 years ago? 6? But they now...
6 years ago with 30,
yeah,
and now we have almost 200.
Yeah. And I would say, I tell you this stuff, I've seen them in wheelchairs, I've seen them in gurneys. My wife says that's dating me. What are you supposed to call them? Bed, hospital bed, hospital bed.
Gurney.
That's what I call it. But she told me to call it something else, but I forgot. But I mean, people are pushing them around. They bat. They've got the some of the blind school out there, and I couldn't hit a baseball when I could see it. I mean, these folks are hitting it, and they're following the sound, and it's unbelievable. I mean, they really hit the ball, and it's a good thing. But I appreciate y'all letting me come here, Barney. It's not your fault this time. This will be. If you want to blame anybody for me speaking, it'll be Don, Amy, and Mike Henderson.
One last thing, Mayor, did you mention the May the 4th National Day of Prayer?
Yes.
And also the Fishing Classic?
Did not mention fishing.
Because the Kiwanis Club usually volunteers with the Fishing Classic. John Rogers is used to wear.
Yeah. The fishing classic.
On May the 4th.
Yeah. And y'all stay tuned. Y'all gonna see. I hope in the next few months that y'all get to see Oxford really do some things that you're really gonna be so proud of.
I have one question for you, and I know you may not be able to tell us, it's probably top secret, but maybe if you just nod yes or no, or just a little wink to know, are we going to get a Krispy Kreme? I keep hearing, and I've just got my heart set on you. So, are you noticing any twitches? Is he doing something?
No. I mean, they're supposed to be heading this way.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. But now I will tell you, when Mike and I were little, they were heading this way. So I won't make no promise on that. But Oxford's still been on the interstate. It's still open for business. I will tell you that people, if you've looked at the 185, we had the old motel that was not doing well. We demolished it. We took it down. We fixed up that area. We've already had prospective buyers on that. What we don't want to happen is we don't want 188 to be the only exit. And then what will happen in the future, 191 will be the only exit. We want to revitalize this area with things that we're planning. And we actually had to say we do a gag order, right, Mike? Well, that was in the meeting. Okay. So can't tell you all about that, but anyway, that's coming. And when you see what's coming there, it's going to knock your socks off. And also, I appreciate one other thing for you. Thank you for taking my name off of. If you have a problem during bad weather, call the mayor's office. I really. Terry helped me out. That's the first thing I asked for. Because, buddy, you talk about it. If I can't watch the Braves game, I'm going to get a phone call. Last night, if you watched it, you probably won't turn it off. But again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Hey,
Appreciate you doing this today. Great job you're doing, and all your staff are doing in Oxford and for the whole community. We'd like to get one of our lunch coffee mugs. Thank you very much for being here.
Okay. And I'll tell the two young ladies back, there was a guy named Big John Smith. He was the former mayor's son, and he and I came to every Key Club meeting because we got free meal. We did a long time.